He's a guy without a clue who doesn't know what to do. Republican or Democrat, he's not sure where he's at. It's not so much fun knowing how the country's run. Liberals, conservatives, House of Representatives. Are you right? Are you left? Which way do you lean? Who knows what the hell does that even mean?
Welcome to POV America with your host, Brian.
Let me see if we can do this again here. Do we have a... There we go. There's my levels. I couldn't hear myself. I'm looking at my levels going, why is my voice not coming across? So let me make sure this gets turned up the way it's supposed to, and then I'll be happy. Let me go here. Hold on, guys. Be patient with me. Just getting a hang of all this live streaming stuff. So we'll go there, turn that off, and turn this back on. And then I should be able to hear myself. Much better. Okay, so I just wanted to, going back to what I was saying is this evening, tonight I had a couple classes that I needed to take, and it's the first time I'd taken these, really serious classes online. I've taken a lot of other stuff online, but these are two classes that are required for my teaching certification. So I was kind of apprehensive to take them at the same time. But to do a split screen and have two different classes going at the exact same time, stressful. Then trying and making sure I could respond to each and follow through. And there's nothing that challenges you more than trying to do that. Just trying to juggle two classes simultaneously. It was an interesting experience. Hopefully, I've got 5 of these classes to take. Hopefully, I can get them done. But I found I don't know how many people have ever had Play-Doh when you were a kid. This is like the ultimate, they give you those stress balls. Oh no, give me a little thing of Play-Doh. It smells good too. Oh man. So let me see what's going on today, guys. We had the whole thing with Trump. So I'm kind of curious to see how that went. My day today has been just crazy. We're trying so hard to get all this stuff done and put out there to where we can get all our inmates, because the inmates are coming back to the prison. For those of you that don't know, I work at a prison. I'm a technical support. Basically, I'm teaching these guys technology. So when they leave, they'll have their A+ certification. They'll have their N+. They'll have a lot to build their future on if they're smart and they go through this class. So it's kind of funny to be kind of balls to the wall trying to get all this stuff done before they come back into class on Monday. And there's so much to do. There's so much to get done. It's probably going to not all get done, but, we'll be close. We'll try and get as close as we can. So, I've been trying to get these guys some of the latest technology, some of the cool stuff. I even put in, they came to me one day, says, well, what do you want? We have our budget. What do you need for your class? And I said, well, I need a HoloLens. I said I need a HoloLens because we're going to teach these guys how to do some augmented reality, and actually they can. There's a big market out for that, And I've yet to see them. Apparently, they don't want to spend $3,000 on a HoloLens, but it is something that would literally set us apart from any of the other facilities out there, because we'd have, number one, we'd have the only HoloLens, and number two, we'd have the only group of guys that can actually program and actually make, actual apps for that. So it'd be cool if we could get it. Like I'm a technology geek. I don't know for those of you that have made it to CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. I wanted to go this year. I wanted to actually make a point to going out there. I figured I had the vacation time saved up. I had everything. Everything was going to happen, but the hurricane really put a kibosh on all that. I mean, it just put us so far behind on everything else. So it's kind of it sucks, but you know what? It happens. So anyway, today was going to be one of those kind of quick shows to maybe just do maybe a half hour to just get ready for the Friday, get ready for the ramp up for the weekend. And I don't, I've tried to. I got a new hat. I don't know, for those of you that can't see it. This was sent to me, and I'm kind of debating whether I'm just gonna. I may just give it. I have another one here that I may give away in a giveaway, and just somebody who's a Trump fan can go ahead and take advantage of it, because I kind of smile. I'm like, yeah, it's a nice hat, but doesn't quite fit what I'm. You know what? Let me take a look at this here. Change my little. There we go. We're gonna have to kind of bring that in a little bit. Just trying to change my overlay there. I noticed that it was kind of funky, so if I change it here, it'll change there supposedly. But we had a couple emails last night after I got off, and had a couple more. That by the time I came home today, I got online and checked to see who's sending emails. And when you talk about business, you always got people for something. And this was kind of yesterday. We talked a little bit about business, and made a couple suggestions. And you always have people that doubt you. You tell them it's going to be this way, and this is how it's going to be. And there's always those people that say, no, it's not going to be that way. And it's like, yeah, it really is. It's going to be that way. And for whatever reason, when I say something like that, or like when you tell somebody, most of the time we're talking from experience. We've been there, done that type of thing. I don't just say it so people will actually inadvertently take my advice and then get screwed out of something. I mean, I tell you the way it's going to be. And so apparently this afternoon, or maybe this evening, whenever I didn't even check the date and time on it, but apparently something I said came up in a conversation, and it was thrown out there, and apparently I was right. I mean, I was correct, and this person was shocked and said, "Oh my God, I would never." They didn't know that, and I'll kind of tell you what it was. I mentioned about when you're getting your negotiating your lease and everything. I mentioned telling them you want FF&E, and you wanted this so much per square foot for your FF&E, and then they'd write you a check, for this. And this person obviously didn't think that would really happen. But after he applied some of what I told him, he ended up saying that they would write him a check for $25,000. And I thought, well, that's pretty much what I told you would happen. But he was so surprised. He didn't really think that was going to happen. And I was like, well, do you think I just said it? Just say it? But no, it's from experience. Though there's ways. That's how a lot of people can. I mean, you can literally fund your business utilizing the money from your landlord or the lease company, because when they give you FF&E, if you don't need it, you can actually keep that money and roll it into other things. Or in my case, I just went ahead and used it for what I wanted. And if you have them do that turnkey deal we were talking about, have them do the turnkey deal, so when you walk in, everything you need's there, and have them give you FF&E. Now, not only do you have everything you need, you can buy some of the top line furniture, or the top, if you're setting up a real estate office or whatever. It's really, or even like, for example, a hair salon or a nail salon. Now you can go ahead and put in all your chairs and all your, so it's just how much you negotiate for it, and it's usually based on the square footage. But anyway, it was just neat to see this guy. He was like so surprised. He had never heard of being able to do that, and I told him yesterday. You guys watched it yesterday. I says, if you will just, when you're negotiating your lease, tell him you want FF&E, X amount per square foot. And he was so surprised. I got the email and I was reading through it, and they said they'd write him a check for $25,000 for his FF&E, and he had no idea he could do that. He was like, oh my God. He was going to spend it. He was actually going to take it out of his own pocket and buy all this stuff. And I was just like, well, that's what I told you. That's why I tell you guys this. It's from experience. I mean, I look back and I say, look, I've had restaurants, I've had business centers. If you ever get a chance, go to YouTube, and you can actually, if you if you actually type in Paradise Cove Social Club and you watch, you'll see the 30-second commercial spot that I used to run for my poker club. I had a poker club too, thousands of members. It was fun. But, business is simple. Business is fun. But, I mean, any idea you have, why would you pay for it? Why not use OPM, other people's money? You don't need to borrow it from friends. You don't need to borrow it from family. You don't need to borrow it from the bank. There's so many different ways. A lot of people say, oh, well, I'll go on crowdfunding. Well, you know what? Crowdfunding had its heyday. It has, but it's really, if you're truly looking to raise capital to start a business, you're not going to be very successful on crowdfunding. Maybe there's some hit and misses there that maybe are, but most people, if they want to start a decent business, and they're just not going to get it funded on any kind of crowdfunding source. That's kind of why when I put it out there, I let you guys know this is how you can get things funded. This is how you can get the most bang for your buck. This is how you can negotiate the deals. And obviously, he didn't believe me. And then, today he comes in and sends me the little email, and I was kind of proud that he listened and actually took something I said into account. But yeah, it's interesting to kind of see where, conversations go, because you never know where you're going to end up. And that was really kind of where I was at yesterday, just saying, we'll throw some things out there and see what people want to talk about. A lot of times people, like today, I don't know if you caught I didn't do the afternoon drive. I had some running around to do it. It was really hectic this afternoon, because I had to get back for these classes and I was exhausted. So I did all the running around, came back, tried to lay down for a half hour or something before these classes, and then, go through these classes. But so I didn't do the afternoon drive. I'll do it tomorrow. But in the morning when we were talking about our family. We were talking a lot about relationships and how you deal with family. And I had a couple emails when I checked this evening about people that were sharing their family situations. I thought I had it bad. We all have those, those people in our family that are just like nightmares but they're family, so you got to live with them. But I thought I had it bad, and I read a couple of the emails, and I went, I don't really have it that bad compared to some of these folks. They have horror stories about their family. Brothers and sisters, and all these horrible things that they went through with and I'm going, wow, like I had a relative that I bought a truck, and this relative cut cut the tires of the truck when I took it back because he wasn't paying for it. And, I had all these things that I thought, they happened to me. And I'm like, well, these are terrible things. And then when I read what other folks wrote, I get these emails going, you think that's something? Well, how about this? And I'm just going, oh my God, it almost makes my dysfunctional family seem normal. But I laughed. I was like, well, you know what? I guess all things considered, I'm kind of lucky. But, my family, and as with a lot of other people out there, your families are probably the same way. You always have that one or, maybe two relatives that are special. They're special. So that was the conversation this morning during the morning drive. Let's see what else we're going to talk about. That was pretty much, that was just kind of a slow day today, just pretty much with working, trying to get everything set up for these inmates to come back. So now Friday or tomorrow, I'm trying to work. I think I told you guys, trying to work on another theme song, probably a new name for the show. Just really trying to build this, being new to live streaming. I've watched these guys that are doing the games and they've streaming, and these guys got it down so good. They've got it down to a science, and it's really amazing to sit and watch some of these guys on their streams, because I was telling you, Barnacules is one of the guys I watch on Twitch. Great show. Been watching him for a couple years. I watched him when he was on YouTube primarily, and great show, real entertaining, and a real fun guy to kind of spend some time with on Twitch. So if you get a chance, go check it out. It's like I said, it's Barnacules, and he's got a great show. So and that's kind of when I watched it, I'm like, well, that's what I want. I want just a show where you can kick back and you can BS, you can have some fun with it. I don't want to get too serious. I don't want to have at first I thought I wanted to have a show on politics, but I don't. The bottom line is I can't, what I'm hearing, what I'm reading and watching and seeing, I don't know if I want to be a part of that. That's why when I got this hat, they sent me this hat, and I was like, yeah, I'll wear it, but it's just not. I haven't made my choice up whether I'm going to be Democrat or Republican, so I have no idea yet. But I wanted to have a channel. I kind of use Jerry as a kind of a not a. I don't want to say role model because he hates that when you say that, but I kind of use it as the gold standard. A show that's fun and kind of irreverent and not something that's really overly serious. Because there's so many people that's why the games, I was going to do the games. I started out on Hitman 2. Can't stand it. Don't like it. It's I just don't have the temperament for it because it just aggravates me. And I'd end up probably throwing the whole computer out the window. But, I think that's going to be a lot of what I do is just trying to find what fits, what fits for a good entertaining show. And then trying to get, of course, a group of great folks to participate and be part of it. I think that's going to be the biggest challenge. And it often is. I look, when I go to the actual Twitch page, I'll scroll down, and I just keep scrolling down, and you can see gradually, you'll see people that have hundreds of people watching them or thousands of people watching them, all the way down to where they have 2 or 1. And I'm probably way down there at the bottom, with just a few people watching. But I do want to make sure that this year I try and build something that's actually fun and just entertaining and a little different. So just trying to find that and build that really is a challenge I have now. Trying to find out what makes a really good stream. I mean, what makes it entertaining for folks? What makes people want to participate? The more I watch, it's so versatile. There's no like one recipe for anything. Everything is different for different shows. So I'll watch, like I started to stream when I first started it. I started streaming to Twitch. What was it? Twitch, Mixer, Smashcast, Periscope, YouTube Stream Me. So it's going out. So when I stream it, it's going to a lot of different platforms because I wanted to kind of reach a lot of different people. There's the audience, everybody out there is very eclectic with what they like, what they don't like, and every now and then you'll get people that actually just kind of want to sit back and bullshit with somebody about whatever. They're not looking for just one thing. And if they are, they can bring it up. And the cool thing is, if they want to talk religion, we'll talk religion. They want to talk politics, we'll talk politics. It doesn't matter what we talk about because the conversation is fluid. It's ever changing. So as new people come on and new topics come up, people will jump in and out. So that's kind of what I wanted. I didn't want to get too serious. There's too much bullshit in the world today. I mean, every time I look at the news, it's something negative. I don't want that. I want to have some fun. I want to just talk about whatever we want to talk about, and not sit there and I'm not really about bashing. People, this whole Trump thing, people are bashing, Trump this, Trump that. Hey, you know what? Look, he was put in office. Get behind him. Stand behind him. Let's see what he can do. And if he can't do what he said he's going to do, then next election, you put somebody else in that seat. But get behind him and let him do what see what he can do. I mean, it's going to be one of two things. He's going to be successful or he's not. And it's not going to make or break this country because we have had in the past absolutely horrific presidents that, put us in recessions. And, this guy's done nothing but lower the unemployment. We have the lowest unemployment rate ever. He's got the highest jobs that have brought it. I mean, he's done good so far. I don't care about the other stuff that they say about the lying and, this. I don't care. You know what? Let him run the country. Let him do what he needs to do to make us successful and make us a strong country again. And then chastise him when he gets out or do whatever you want to do. But to me, it's kind of like, give him a chance. I see a lot of this stuff that I was watching Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi the other day, and they were kind of bad-mouthing and everything. And this whole thing about the wall, they were, anti-wall. But then if you go on YouTube and do a search, you can find all of like Schumer's past, where he's talking to the press and everything. and he's echoing what Donald Trump's saying about the wall. So at one point, you know, and I see a lot of these Democrats did that. A lot of Democrats were very much pro-wall until Trump got elected, and that became part of his campaign. Then now they're not pro-wall. So is it you were when it was going to be one of your people doing it, and you're not now that's a Republican? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird to see how that all comes about. But let me see. What do I have? Oh, I don't know if you can hear that. That's probably my cat. That I have these. I have this. I'm a dog person. I got stuck with these cats. 2 cats, both my kids. They wanted cats. They were going to take care of cats. Yeah, that doesn't work. So I'm gonna get stuck with these cats, and the one cat's mentally retarded. Something's wrong with him. He's not normal, you know. So let me see, get that up there. So what's going on? I just don't know. There's so much that you know. When I go through the news and I watch these things, I did see you know what caught my eye today? They caught this radio burst. I don't know if you've seen this. You know, I guess in space, you know, they're constantly listening, trying to pick up signals from space. And today, for only like the second time or whatever, they found a repeatable, a radio burst that it's not just like, you know, what was it called? It's not just variable. It's actually the same burst is being repeated over and over. And it came through to them, and now they're saying this is only the second time it's ever happened. Now they're trying to find out where it came from. Where is this? Because that, you know, that's it's kind of what they associate intelligent life with, when you can, you know, send these burst signals like this, these radio frequencies and radio bursts. They're trying to say this could be intelligent life. Now that was actually kind of cool. I got around watching that, and I was like, all right, well, I'm with you. Let's go ahead and head down that way. And then they said one of the they just found some even closer, some of these exoplanets even closer than what they've ever found before. That's the kind of stuff I like to hear about, you know, the stuff of, you know, what it's going to be like. I mean, just 50 years from now, where we're going to be at, and what. I'm kind of curious. I mean, that's, you know, I don't know. Hopefully, let me see, how old am I? Yeah, I probably won't be around here 50 years from now. But, you know, it would be nice to at least kind of see where our country goes and where the technology takes us. Are we anybody going to be here in 50 years, or are we just going to kind of be kind of kill off ourselves? Who knows? But I would like to see 50 years from now, from a technology standpoint, looking at where we are today, where will we be? There was some Chinese. I was just reading too that this guy in China actually did the first gene splicing, or he'd actually he manipulated using the CRISPR technology, which is basically gene manipulation. He actually had these babies made, and that were genetically altered, basically. And I'm kind of trying to find out where that goes, because these babies that are genetically altered, he altered them so they, I think the article said, so they were not susceptible or something to HIV or something along that lines. But the whole, why everybody was upset is this guy he was very arrogant. He didn't follow he basically had an idea, ran with it, and knew he could do this thing, and, you know, and he just did it without any, you know, any thought of repercussions or maybe it wouldn't work. You know, he just went out and did it. And they weren't, you know, there's all these safety protocols in place so you don't do things like that. But he just said the hell with it, and he went ahead and created these babies that are genetically altered. So, but I wonder 50 years from now, you know, 50 years from now, 60 years from now, you know, what will our technology allow us to do? We already know we can clone. We already know we can clone sheep, horses, dogs, cats, and someone said that they've cloned a person. You know, we know we can do that. That's, you know, that's proven. You know, we can do test tube babies. We don't even have, we create them in a test tube. So all this stuff we know we can do now, 50 years from now, what is it going to be? I mean, really, will it be where, we're able to regrow limbs? I've read that they made some advancements with Alzheimer's and, dementia. Is that going to be a thing of the past? Will they ever get around to solving the cancer and all that stuff? 50 years of technology from today, I'm just curious where we'll be. I mean, I wonder when I hear about they're having, these scientists are creating children that are genetically altered. I mean, they've actually used the CRISPR technology to alter their genes and allowed that. 50 years from now, where are we going to be? Scientists the other day said they're using sound waves now to break up the amyloid plaques in the brain. So this is going to help the people with Alzheimer and dementia, the old folks that are getting these diseases. This is a step to actually curing them. And there's a great website I go to. It's called Science Daily. It literally has, whether you're interested in space, science, medicine, it's all of the top articles from all of these publications like MIT, John Hopkins. They talk about stem cell research. They talk about, so I'm kind of curious, 50 years from now, if you could fast forward and look at the computers we have now, you look at the HoloLens technology that Microsoft is developing. They've got augmented reality. Then you've got, of course, your virtual reality that's out there where you have to be kind of tethered and you're in your own little environment, but it's kind of, you don't have the ability to see the outside world, so to speak. But with all these technologies, where's it going to go? What's going to be the next thing that how are we going to improve our life or our lifestyles, 50 years from now? And I ask myself that all the time. I'm like, I'd really like to know, are they going to be able to extend it? Because there's a pros and cons. Yes, if we extend our life expectancy, let's say they can extend us to, because that was another thing they have tested in mice where they have actually reversed. Now this was a cool article. They reversed the aging process in these mice. They have found out what it takes to actually reverse the aging and make the cells renew themselves as if they were. See, as we age, the ability to replicate and heal, that's why we age and we get older. It's really your cells breaking down. You're not able to, they're not able to be as healthy as they were when they were younger. But they've actually found a way now to rejuvenate that to where the cells absolutely recreate and there is no degradation. It's amazing that they've done this, but they've taken mice, and by utilizing this, they've actually had these mice that went from being old to like they were 2 months old instead of 2 years old. And if they can apply that, let's say they're able to extend life expectancy. Let's say they do away with the Alzheimer's and they get rid of dementia so your brain stays fresh. Let's say they extend your life expectancy by 50 years. So now let's say if you were going to live to be, say, 100, now you're going to live to be 150. Now there's been people that have been up into the 100 teens, maybe 120, who knows. But now let's say they extend it to 50 years. So now everybody can live an extra 50 years on top of whatever. So let's say you're going to die. Normally you would have died at 70. Now you're not. You're going to be 120 or whatever. What is that going to do to the resources on the planet? That was one of the big concerns. People said, oh my God, if people aren't dying at the rate they're dying now, because we've got people that are starving. And that's another thing. What's going to happen with all these people that are in, they're out in the, the deserts, they're in these third world countries, they're starving to death, and what's going to happen 50 years from now? Are we going to be able to, create? Matter of fact, there was another interesting thing where in the Bible they talk about manna from heaven. It's where they actually had another thing where people wanted to replicate that particular thing because they would take this manna and they would go and they would use it to make their food, their breads or whatever. And they have actually recreated that where it can be made just like. It would fall like snow, and it would actually, you could collect it up and you could use it to make food with. My question is, 100 years, 50 years from now, will there still be the same things in the world that there are today, where there still be the same people starving, the same people dying of these diseases that are really avoidable, or at some point, as a global society, will we wise up? Will we get smart and say, you know what? Who cares about, the wars that we had in the past? Who cares about, all these other things, because there's so many other important things. But what what I notice is that everything that when I read and I see the news and when I hear about all these wars and all these killings and bombings and you really get to the root of it. I mean, it's not like this faction is mad at this faction, or this group of people is mad at this group of people for something they did. It really all goes back to religion, which really is kind of comical when you think about it, because all religions typically are, from my understanding and what I've read before, they are religions of peace. They preach peace and love and understanding and tolerance. But yet more people are killed every year in the name of these religions. That confuses the hell out of me. When is that ever going to stop? I mean, is that ever going to stop? My God's bigger than your God. My dad can beat up your dad. When is this going to stop? Where it's no longer about whose God is the God. The fact that you believe in a God it should be enough. And the fact that, your God is all merciful, just like this God is all merciful, you can't instill your beliefs or your religion on anyone else. So you have to be tolerative of them following their own religion, and you follow yours. But we have witnessed, just in our lifetime, tens of thousands and just more and more people die when they took the planes into the side, in the Twin Towers. That wasn't really because they were just mad at the U.S. That had all the seedings of really religious, deep-seated. That was the reason behind it. It wasn't that they were just mad at the buildings or mad at the airlines or mad at our country. There was a religious, ulterior motive. It had to do with religion and what they believed and what they were taught to believe that caused all that. And that's unfortunate, because I'm myself tolerant to whatever you believe. If you believe in God, God bless you. If you don't believe in God, whatever. It doesn't matter what somebody else believes to me. A lot of people just have to be confident in what they believe in. So it's interesting. It's entertaining to watch. Some of these debates on television, on YouTube or whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's tolerance of another religion. You have to have it. We've killed so many people, over religion, and it's really kind of stifled a lot of the things in the world today. I read on that site I told you about, Science Daily, there was something about the Pope himself. The Pope himself has said that the Catholic Church has been tarnished because of all the stuff that's going on, and it's not hard to believe. It's not a far stretch of the imagination. I can imagine that would be the case. But they at least are aware that the need for religion, maybe, or the desire for religion is waning. People are starting to believe less and less of what the church themselves, the Vatican is telling them. When they're starting to see the corruption in the Vatican, just like they do, in their everyday life, just like they do in our own political system. There's so much corruption there. But religion is one of those, you got to be really touchy-feely, and that's kind of where I try not to go too much, because I don't want to offend anybody. If you're a God, if you're like a Bible thumper, if you're a God believer, or you believe in higher powers, I don't want to offend you. I don't want to say the wrong thing that might, you might say, oh, you're against. Look, I'm the most, honestly, I am the most tolerant people or tolerant person of other people's religions and beliefs, simply because what you believe doesn't impact me at all. And you can try. I've had people try to have you ever had that where they try to convince you that their God is the God or that their way that they believe is the way? For some reason, I don't understand why people want to do that and try and pull you over to their religion. It's like, if I express an interest and you invite me and I want to learn more, that's one thing. But to try and convert me or convert anyone else, um, just because we say we don't see the way you do, I don't need to be sold. That's the whole thing. I don't need to be sold on anything. Um, so I do think that religion is one of those topics that I try to travel or to, very careful on. I try to try not to I try not to get too crazy with it, because I know there's people that'll be offended, and if they're offended, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, but if you ask me, I'm going to tell you what I think. Not that I'm right; I could be wrong. I think that there's some things that are hokey and kind of funny and questionable in different religions, and so it's not saying all my answers are the right answers. So, hang on one second, guys. I'm gonna steal some of my nectar of the gods. Yes, it's Mountain Dew. Gotta love the dew. So, anyway, I happened to. Oh, I was going to tell you earlier when I was on Twitch going through one of these tubes. I only clicked on it for a minute or so, but I saw a guy that was in. It looked like his bathroom cupboard. And I was just kind of curious as if anybody had come across that, or if you'd seen this guy. He had stuffed himself in a cupboard, and people were donating or whatever. I guess maybe donating to get him out or to have him shut the doors. Who knows? But it was like, oh, okay, well that's interesting. I mean, I could easily do some kind of and I guess that basically is like a publicity stunt. But it got me thinking, going, well, that would really be cool, to do something that, and then people could actually support you while you're doing that to have some fun. So, but I couldn't think of anything. I was like, well, maybe I could go up to the top of the Ferris wheel. Like, we got this new, and I was actually thinking in my head, out at Pier Park, we have this new Ferris wheel that it's giant, it's huge Ferris wheel. And I was thinking, what would be cool? What if I got in the Ferris wheel and I said, you know what? I'm gonna continue taking donations and just riding this Ferris wheel until I reach this particular amount, and just keep riding this thing. And I was going, that would be fun. That would be cool. And then I started thinking, yeah, about the first 100 times in a circle, it would be fun. But this Ferris wheel they just built is ginormous. And I don't know if for those of you who've never been to Florida, Florida is it's kind of like hell with mosquitoes and humidity. But I live in the Panhandle, where there's, it's kind of like the tourist spot where all the people come for spring break and everything. So it's really cool. We've got some of the greatest bars and some of the greatest party spots on the beach. So everybody they come from all over the country and all over the world. They'll come from, England, and you see all kinds, very, very diverse culture that comes to the Panhandle, to this part of the Panhandle anyway. And then bikers, if you got a motorcycle, man, this is a place. They have bike week out here all the time. I kind of regret getting rid of my motorcycle. When I moved down here, I didn't think I'd want to ride it in Florida. And, oh yeah, it was definitely the worst mistake I made. In Arizona, I could ride it eight months out of the year. I could ride my bike. And I thought, well, going down to Florida, it's not going to be the same. And but bikes are huge down here. A lot of people, I don't know if you've ever been to Sturgis or you ever took your bike. If you have a motorcycle, if you ever went to Sturgis, but here they have in Daytona Beach, they have a bike week. They have a bike week here. It's very big in this part of the country. So, but yeah, I think that's one of the things that if I had to say there's some positives about this state, I would say that a lot of like we have a place called Pineapple Willie's. Oh my God, the portion size you get is ginormous, and it's really good food. I mean, it was very surprising. Some of the places are like tourist traps. You pay top dollar for food that you could get for a fraction of the price anywhere else. And there's a lot of those out here because they cater towards the people that don't know any better. You know, they put themselves out as the best burger on the beach and this and that. And you know what? They're not. They're just a burger on the beach. They're not the best burger. But then there's companies that actually have, like there was a restaurant down the road from where I live, and it was called the Front Porch. And I had never been there, and I went in there the first time and ordered their double cheeseburger. And this thing, I'm not exaggerating, when I say it was like, I can't even, maybe 8 inches high. It was huge, and it was so filling. It was the best. It was, and they actually said their thing was the best burger on the beach. And I was like, wow, that's cool, man. And this burger was so freaking huge, and it was truly the best burger on the beach. And then they moved, and they got, I don't know if they went new ownership or whatever. And then all of a sudden I went back because I'd been going there for like months before they moved. Then they moved. You go there, they said, best burger on the beach. Do you get it? And it's this, I mean, it's a crappy burger. So I haven't been back there. But I mean, food is one of those things. If you live like, I'm big on In-N-Out Burger. In Arizona, they had In-N-Out Burger everywhere. And they'd actually just built one in the town where I lived. And if you've never seen an In-N-Out Burger, you might have heard me talk about this before, but they are so absolutely amazing. Cleanest restaurants you'll ever be in. Cleanest restaurants, nicest people, and freshest food. And you can't ask for anything more than that. You've got great people, fresh food, and clean restaurants, restrooms, and everything. Just a great place. And I kind of wish they'd bring one to Arizona, or not Arizona, but Florida. But they're kind of keeping everything west. But yeah, there's trying to think of what else there was out there. There's compared. It's kind of like if you move a lot. If you've ever moved, I've lived in Michigan, and there was certain regional foods, certain things in Michigan that I loved. So when you moved, I couldn't get those things. I couldn't get the soda that I liked. I couldn't get the certain like they have this. There's this company called Germac. And I don't know and it's something as simple as pumpkin seeds. I like pumpkin seeds. It was just me. You know how a lot of people will chew gum while they're, pitchers will chew gum on the mound. That's their thing. Well, I loved pumpkin seeds. And Germac has these things are ginormous. They're huge. You buy them in a 5-pound bag. Well, you can't get that anywhere, like in Arizona. I can't get it here in Florida, but I can get it in Michigan. Same thing with the meats. They've got Kowalski, hot dogs and meats, and it's a very different thing. So you move from state to state, and you always find these foods that you like or restaurants that you like are different. And then when you move, you're like, why don't they carry it over here? Why is there no In-N-Out Burger in Florida? Why is there no, Fago Red Pop when I was, or they have Rock and Rye, which is actually my favorite, but I'd be like in Arizona going, why can't I buy Rock and Rye? And eventually I think it made to some stores out there, but, yeah, I don't know for those of you that have moved, I mean, I don't know, I'm still thinking about going back to Arizona. I'm not sure if you guys, a lot of folks have stayed wherever they live their entire life. It's like they're born, raised, and they're going to die there. And they've never traveled out of the state or around the country. And I've been very fortunate. I've been all over the world. I've been in Costa Rica. I've been to Berlin and Paris and Belgium. I've been very fortunate for some of the companies I worked for. They've paid for all my travel all around the world. I mean, it's been to see and kind of open up your eyes and see what these cathedrals look like here and see what the Louvre looks like here and go to the Eiffel Tower. I would never have had that level of freedom or travel because, let's face it, most people, they get a job, they do their 9 to 5, they have some kids, grow old, take a few family vacations, maybe to Disney or something, and that's pretty much the limit of their travel, the limit of what they do. Other people love to travel and they go all over the world. I myself was never going to be able to travel around the world in anything, simply because I did have, we had 5 kids and, that whole 9 yards. But I would highly recommend, there's places I've been where I would love to go back with my family. I went by myself because it was with work. But boy, I'll tell you what, if I could take my family back, I would take every one of them, my kids, my wife, everybody, and go on to some of these trips, because there's things that I've seen that they could never see, and they probably would never see. So you can watch a travel channel, but you can only watch a travel channel so long, and then all of a sudden you're kind of just living vicariously through the television. But no, it's fun. I mean, it's what you make of it, I guess. And a lot of us have jobs that I've been very fortunate, very blessed to have a job that I consider at one point was my dream job. I mean, when I've retired and then come out of retirement, retired again, come out of retirement, anytime, and people say, well, you can't, when I was in the Army, I was actually going to make the military my career. I was going to go in the Army and I was going to retire and I was going to kick back and just enjoy my life. But after like 8 years, it was not for me. It was like, you know what? I really wanted to be able to afford, and believe me, you guys don't understand it if you've never been in the service, and they don't make a lot of money. You do it for your country. You really do. You don't do it for the money at all, because you're not making that much money. But you are, even if you're in the higher ranks compared to what you could make in any real job out in the real world, as an executive or a junior executive, you're still not making that much money. And it's unfortunate, because we can't compensate our military that much. But at the same time, that's the whole thing. The money was never important to me. It was never ever important to me. I knew that the military is going to take care of my family. They're going to take care of me. That wasn't the issue. The issue was, you're doing it because you love this country. You want this country to be great. That's why when I see people take a knee in a football game, they don't, they think they're doing it for this reason, or it's a black thing. They think they're doing it for the right reason. And the thing is, what they're really doing is slapping the face of America, because in America, we have had bad history. We've had good history. We have got a great future if we play our cards right. But you accept that. You accept that entire ball of what is our country. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You accept that to be part of this country, to be an American. You know the struggles that were made in the past. We have to learn from our past. We don't have to live in our past. And that's what so many people in this country want to do. They want to live in the past. They want to say, oh, well, where's my 40 acres and a mule? What is this? And you know what? That doesn't do anything but really start to, how can I put it? It really just makes it to where you're teaching the newer generations, hey, if we continue to complain about this, they'll continue to make it an issue. And the thing is, it's the stupidest thing. It's like, look, we've made mistakes in the past. We're going to make mistakes in the future, and we just learn by them and move on. Will we continue? You can't say when 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 people do something, or even 10 people or 100 people do something that's stupid. You cannot hold the entire country and, we're going to have a movement that does this and we're going to make it. Look, get behind your country. Be smart, be better, and move on. But don't sit here and try to say that every time something happens, there's a shooting and it's a race. The race card has been played so much in this country, it's not even funny anymore. I mean, it used to be kind of humorous, because the people thought that you didn't see that you were just playing the race card. They thought, oh, if I do this, I'll get sympathy. But now it's gotten to the point where it's so obvious that the event or whatever happened, it's not a huge issue anymore. It's one stupid individual. It's one individual that doesn't have the same respect. It's one person. It doesn't deserve a movement to involve millions of people to march on Washington or something. Look, when I guess this is kind of where when Obama got elected, that should have sent a signal throughout the world of how we view people in our country. We don't care anymore if you're black or if you're white. I mean, intelligent people, which I would say the majority of Americans are. We don't, the racism will never go away if it's inbred from the people. So you have to understand that. Children, when they grow up, they don't learn to be racist. They're taught that by their family, the people that they surround themselves with, their mothers, their fathers. If they are one way, they instill that on their children. So you're never going to get away with that, because the generations, until the generations really step up and educate themselves, and until the generations really see the ignorance in the way they've been taught or the way they've been led to believe, it's still going to happen. But the thing is, we don't have to make it into a federal case every time an idiot or an idiot's family does something that's inappropriate. So I guess that's my frustration is, as I look at a lot of this stuff and how our country does things, it's like, look, we've got people, we almost had a female president. So you have to look at it like this. You've had white, you've had African American, you almost had a woman. Our society, our country truly is a very diverse country, where we're not going to say anymore that this race is more superior than this race. What we are going to say is, like, we're willing under every circumstance to look at what's going to be best for our country. Obama, everybody thought he was going to be best for the country, so they elected him. We are constantly trying to be the best we can as a country as a whole. And I think that all these false causes, all of these things that go on, only hurt the country. When you take a knee at a football game, you're not just slapping a veteran in the face. You are hurting our country. You're literally bringing up old wounds that we've been trying to heal, and you're not helping. It's a cause. And he had this football idiot had children in schools taking knees during their games, and those children have no idea why. They don't know why. They have no idea why they're taking a knee. They have no idea why anybody, takes a knee. Oh, well, because this guy did it. He's in football. It's very difficult for you to understand if you don't have kids, but everything we do as parents, it reflects on our children. Like, children don't know how to lie. When a child is born and a child is raised, they have no concept of lying. They don't know what a lie is. If you ask them a question, they will tell you the truth every time. They only learn what lying is after they're punished for telling the truth. Once they're punished, or they're chastised, or they're made to feel bad or poorly for telling the truth, then they start to learn to lie, to tell less and less of a truth. So when you ask him, did you break that plate? A child would say, yes, I did. I was doing this and it fell off and it broke. When you say, that was the good plates and they were grandma's and you need to do that, all of a sudden, the next time a plate is broke, that child's not going to be as quick to say, yes, I broke it. It's just simple common sense. Children are taught to lie. Children are taught to be work the system. Matter of fact, I know people that actually teach their children and their children's children how to work the system, how to get the most, government this, how to get the most, how not to work but get the money. This is the generations that are growing up and that how they're taught, and it's absolutely exhausting to sit here and think that there's people out there that really believe that it's okay. Teach the children to be racist. Teach the children to be, because, this is when I read and I hear and I see anything about the white power or these people that the skinheads that believe that we're the master race, and I just want to, and it's kind of funny because that's what they look to do. They look to instill that emotional response from me, so I don't like to give it out to them. But I simply want to say, I really just feel like going up to the person, looking them in the eye and going, please let me know. Just tell me, are you really that ignorant? Are you really this stupid? Or is this all just a ploy for attention? Is this, or do you really truly believe the rhetoric that you're pushing? Because if you really do believe it, you're a special kind of idiot. And some of them are. Some of them aren't. It's just, I've watched and I've listened and I've kind of viewed a lot of those type of, and I try to understand, because everybody says you should try to understand other people's viewpoints. You should try to understand where they're coming from. Try to understand why they feel the way they do. And I do that. I try when these type of scenarios come up and when they're, speaking in their megaphone and they're talking, and I try and I listen and I think to myself, okay, don't pass judgment on these people. Try and see what they're seeing. Try and look at it from their perspective. I can't. It's just so out there. It's like I just don't. I'm like, no. You know what? I'm sorry. I don't. Not only do I not agree, I really disagree because I strenuously disagree. But the people today out there they're so concerned about all these trivial things that I think that they're actually failing. They're actually failing to focus on the things that really truly matter. Think what we would do as if, not just as a country, but just globally. What could we accomplish if there was only one race, if there was just the human race? There wasn't black and white and Asian. There was just one race, the human race. And to better the human race, everybody was allowed to have their own religions or whatever. We had the same respect for everybody's religion. And it was almost like that John Lennon song, the Imagine, imagine just one religion. If you want to have a religion, that's fine. Believe in your God. We respect it. Everybody would respect that. But what would happen if the human race worked to bettering our planet? And I begin to think, with all the technology that China has and that we have and that is around the brilliant minds that are around this planet, I really believe that we could solve so many of the problems that affect us globally. Starvation, hunger, disease, famine, all these things. I think that we could solve every single one of them if we did it as the human race. I'm not just doing it to help me, I'm doing it to help everybody. And you have these mega corporations like Google, like Microsoft, and you've got so many companies that could take huge amounts of their profits and actually work with these pharmaceutical companies and technology companies and really truly make a difference. Now, will they, and will that ever happen? I doubt it in my lifetime, because if you haven't figured it out yet, let me just clue you in. In this world, in not just the United States, in the world, it's money, power, and greed. Those are the three things that drives the Democratic Party, every member in it. It drives every member in the Republican Party. It drives every single person in politics, whether it's in our country or throughout the world. It's money, power, and greed. No matter what people tell you, how oh no, they're not like that, and they're really all about the people. They're really all about the cause. They're really, no, they're self-serving. They're all about themselves. They're all about the money, power, and greed. What can I do that'll be grandiose, that I can grandstand, get in front of the public? how can I make some money? And, it's just how people are. It's just human nature, and that's, it really is all about the greed. And I hate to say that because it sounds like, oh, you're just so jaded. But you know what? It's the truth. I mean, it's not that I'm jaded. It's not that I'm anything other than honest. I'm just truthful. That's how people are. No, that's how you are. No, look, idiot. That's how you are, and that's how everybody is. No matter what you say, no matter what you believe, I'm telling you, money, power, and greed. Those are the three biggest motivating factors. Everybody in this planet, every single person has those three qualities that they. Well, what about nuns? What about nuns and religious people? They're not interested in money, power, or greed. I could go into. I don't even know if I want to go into the whole religious thing. No, I don't want to go there right now. What I did want to do is I do want to say that I do the shameless promotion. If you get a chance, follow me. If you're on Twitter or if you're on Twitch, YouTube, whatever, Facebook, subscribe, follow me. I'd love to know if you're interested in participating. I'd love to have you guys chat and have some fun with the channel. But please, if you can, do what you can to subscribe and follow me. The shameless plug. If you can, go to Patreon. I'd love to have you as a patron. Have some special content then that I can post up on Patreon, and that's it. I'm going to try and cut this a little short today. I want to make sure that I get ready for Friday and try and come up with a good Friday show, and maybe do something on Saturday. But I appreciate you guys for if you're with me in the morning when I do the morning drive. Thanks for tuning in and actually watching. I know it's not like I can chat in the car because I'm basically doing the morning drive to work. So it's kind of like thinking out loud. That's kind of the theme of the morning and the afternoon show. It's just thinking out loud, kind of like what I'm doing now. Every now and then I'll get we'll have a nice chat going here when I get some folks to come in, and if I'm on a topic that sparks them. I mean, usually politics is good, or lately relationships. I've been getting a lot of emails. It seems that people are going through some different different things in their relationships with people they care about, and that's kind of I've been replying back to those via email. But it is because I think what happens is they hear me talk about my wife and my kids, and we've been married. My wife and I've been married 30 years, yeah, and she's still around. I have no idea why, because I'm juvenile, childish, immature, and she still hangs around. So, man, go figure. So anyway, thanks for tuning in tonight, guys. I do appreciate you coming by and tolerating, as I talk out loud and try and come up with interesting topics, something we can talk about. I'm still very new to the live streaming, so the show itself is kind of new. We're just it started the first of the year officially, and I'm just kind of building it and getting a feel for how everything is going to be put in place. I don't know yet, what I can do, how can I put this? I don't know what I can get away with live streaming. I'm people are saying, well, you don't want to play music that's copyrighted. You don't want to have video clips that are copyrighted. There's like all these rules, and I'm really bad at following rules. I really am. So I'm trying to say, okay, if I got to follow these rules, what is it that I can get away with? What crazy things can I do, or what fun things can I do that won't get me in trouble, and that'll actually I'll have some fun doing. So I do appreciate you tuning in and spending some time with me. I haven't figured everything out. I think I'm figuring the overlays out. So I'm figuring out how to do the backgrounds and doing all this stuff. The bits and the tips and bits, they may be live. I don't know. I haven't been de-virginized with bits or tips or anything yet. So I'm still waiting to get to that point where I have a show that's worthy of it. And eventually it'll happen on the screen, or they'll do some kind of alert. I have all that set up, I believe, and I think it's working. but I don't know how it works if they do it PayPal. I don't think it does anything on the screen for PayPal. Only if you do the like the Twitch or the the streaming one, the one that like I'm using Stream Elements. I think it only works. I think Bits maybe works on Twitch. Yeah, the Twitch, and Stream Elements is the. I don't know if Stream Elements has Bits or if they have something different. I don't know. I'm like I said, being new to it, I'm just learning. So anyway, thanks for. I'm gonna cut it short tonight. What are we about? Well, we did about an hour. So I'm just trying to be here on time at 7 o'clock, so I can kind of people can become accustomed and know that I'm going to try and be on time. I'm usually plus or minus a few minutes, but I try to get the show on. I'm going to try and do it Monday through Friday at 7 o'clock, so I can be reliable and everybody will know when we start. But I appreciate all your feedback. I really do. Without you guys, I can't build anything. I don't. Because I'm so new to this, I kind of have to rely on you guys to give me some feedback and say, hey, this would be cool. Why don't you do this? Why don't you, what would you like to see? What would you like to have? That helps me because I can sit back and go, okay, these are great ideas, and I want to build something that's successful and build something that's entertaining and that we can all and just get together a few hours a night and just kind of chill out and have some fun and get a good group of people. Intelligent conversation. I love that. And if that's something you're into, I definitely appreciate you following me. I definitely appreciate you being here. I have some great, intelligent conversation with people, and we can talk about pretty much anything. And I always tell people, don't think I'm just about politics, or that's why I'm going to probably change the name and the look of the show itself, because I don't want to convey that it's all politics or religion or, I love talking about anything, music, movies, UFOs, conspiracy theories. It doesn't matter. Just fun, interesting conversations. And it doesn't matter if it's about politics or gun control or any of the important topics or issues of the day. I don't have a problem with that. I love technology, so we definitely can talk about technology. And I love business. I'm pretty open. But I do appreciate all your feedback. I do appreciate everybody for watching and contributing, and please email me. You can always email at povamerica@outlook.com. I'll get all your emails without a problem, and I'll try to respond to the email or at least address it while we're on here. So tonight I'm going to cut it a little short. Did about an hour. We're going to do about an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and just let you go tonight, and hopefully tomorrow, Friday, I'll still do the morning stream. I'll do the morning, the morning drive, and I'll still do the afternoon drive. And then when I come home, I'll try and make sure we'll try and come up with something pretty entertaining for Friday night, if I can. I mean, I don't know exactly what's going to happen tomorrow, but you know what? That's kind of life. So. I appreciate you tuning in tonight. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a great night, folks. We'll see you.